Welcome back to the All Out NRL Fantasy podcast, or another week in the books, mate. And they say it's a long week in rugby league all the time, but mate, it's probably the longest week for fantasy coaches. Nicho Hynes out with a leg injury, broken leg, I believe it was, mate. Cooler, a lot of people would have brought him in after getting the fullback spot. He's gone for 6 weeks, and now Latrell Mitchell injured as well. What a disaster of a round 18 for some people that would have been, mate.
Yes, no. It's good to be back, Cord. Look, even though there was those terrible news, obviously with Nicho at training yesterday, then you've obviously, like you said, Cooler with that MCL. Look, I don't think you can be too upset because the quality of football on Bundy Run Super Saturday was absolutely exceptional.
Mate.
It was the best Super Saturday that I've watched in a long time.
Look, it was a great round of football. It was absolutely humdinger. Look, I also think that the level of play heading into an Origin game, there couldn't be more hype for Game 3 now. Like, there wasn't much hype for Game 2 in Queensland, but now after watching that Super Saturday, I can say very passionately that there's a lot of hype in Queensland for Game 3 now.
Well, it also helps as well with, Madge and the glass houses, a bit what we
Yes.
posted last night, and
Gordon,
Gordy. And
he was not happy, was he?
No, Gordy and Madge. And I think it's really good. I think there's definitely, obviously it is a decider. You'd expect there to be a lot of hype, but it obviously Madge and his comments and whatnot has really helped the cause.
Yeah, you're not wrong, mate. And, looking back on the week, that was, we actually did quite well in fantasy. You got it up there, 940 points. But, the Broncos-Penrith game was great. The Titans game was great. The South-Para game was great until, the last little bit before it was a blowout. Obviously, Manly went to Golden Point.
Can't give DCE lives, Cord.
Can't give DCE lives. The Doggies-Wars game was probably the game of the season.
It was a special game, that one.
It was, the quality probably wasn't there with the handling of the ball and whatnot. But, it was just a great game of football.
Yeah, no, it was unreal. There were those games on Saturday, even that Cowboys-Manly one, obviously, like Cord said, there was a few errors, but God, it was exciting.
And you got the all-out team up there from last week, mate.
Certainly.
We actually did have a bit of a stinker, but we still gained ranks, I'm hearing.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say it's a stinker. We scored 945 points. Look, you can't be too upset with scoring 945.
No, you're probably right.
It's just that we had the C on Teddy from last week, and then we put it onto Hughes thinking he'd run riot against the Tigers. But unfortunately, the Tigers really did show up, and Hughes didn't have the best result. Teddy actually outscored himself without the captaincy.
97.
So, 945. We're 4,131. We've still got a couple of trades in the bank, which is going to be quite handy considering someone like Nicho Hynes is out this week, and obviously no Hughes. But look, a quick question, Cole. What are you thinking? Obviously, Hynes is out now probably 8 weeks.
Yep.
He's definitely a sell. But my question is there really an option in the halves this week that is really one that you want to get in?
Look, mate, probably question of the week from you there. Nathan Cleary, he was tipped to be back from round 20 onwards, I believe. So next round. Look, if you have trade still at this point in the season and want to flick on Hynes to someone that you need to play in the halves this week for round 19, there is not a good option at all, is it, Dora? If you've got Max Plath, I'd suggest putting him in the halves, and then maybe you got another mid option.
But Plath's starting hooker this week,
hooker
with Marshall King out for at least, I think, 6 to 8 weeks.
Look, I'd just hold the phone this week, and I'd be going straight Nicho to Nathan next week if he plays.
100%.
Nathan's obviously the half that you want in the long run, and I'd suggest that he would be back next week. But, I wouldn't be going to a half this week if you don't have to, that's for sure.
No. Look, I'm pretty happy with how he went, Cord. Apart from obviously the captaincy, and we could have made a lot of ranks. Obviously, would have got nearly probably 1,100 points. I think if we captained.
It does hurt, doesn't it?
Teddy, but look, it hurts. But it would have been not 1,100. It would have been like 1,050 or something. But it would have been obviously pushed us up a bit more in the ranks. But I'm pretty happy with how our team's looking, Cord. Obviously, Fanua Blake, great bounce back. I'm happy we've kept Fletcher sharp. Ponga's been selected, so we get one more stunning fixture from Fletcher this weekend.
Thanks, Fletcher.
Yeah, Karaz just killing it. I'm really happy with how Garrick as well. We held him stunning 69 points on the weekend from Ruben. So yeah, I'm really happy, Cord.
Mate, Origin. Now, we did talk about it a little bit just
Where's
then.
my Fifi?
It's just a great question, mate. He must have done something seriously wrong to tick Billy off. And the only reason now, and I just want Billy to confirm it, is that Fafita doesn't fit what Billy wants in the culture. He came out yesterday and he said that he had an injury. He's been warming into the season and he didn't have the best preseason. Mate, we're in round 18 now. And not only that, the man who is picked at second row, Kurt Capewell, is coming back from an injury. And Fafita's played pretty much the whole year. So, look, he mustn't fit the mould of what he's going for. And you know what? I got to give him his credit. He's stood by what he believes in. And he's going to run with what we think is the best team for Game 3. Do I think it's the best team, Dor? I can't say I do think it's the best team. But if Billy thinks that, then
I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy, Cord. Like you said, I don't think it's the best team either. But I really do like Ponga, the Ponga selection. Just look, that first game on the weekend. I don't know if that was an exciting game as well on the weekend. Obviously, like Cord said, a bit of drop ball, but it was an exciting game. Canberra came back there at the end. But look, Ponga, just absolutely incredible, like footwork, just even still like coming back from a Liz Frank injury, first game back, and he completely broke Savage's ankles, like literally. Well, they didn't break, but he fell over.
He snapped.
He snapped and was a bit slow to get up. But look, I think if we can utilize Ponga correctly and bring him on when they've got tired forwards, I think it could be absolutely game-changing because I don't really think maybe about probably prime RTS. Even RTS nowadays still is lightning on his feet. But just you don't even expect him to step. Like, he's just unbelievable at just finding holes in the defense. So I think that could be a really big thing. And look, credit to Kurt Capewell. I know I'd probably still have Fafita in my side. But look, Kurt Capewell had probably one of his best games on the weekend in that Warriors Bulldogs game. So I think that probably helped Billy with the selection. Again, like Sewer, they were thinking that there was a bit of an injury concern there with that he might, had to go and have some scans. But he's been named to play this week. So only concern really, Cord, is just that real impact and the size on the bench. Obviously, we got a bit dominated there in the middle of the field in Game 2. And obviously we haven't really added that much size to our side. Obviously we've got Ponga and Grant on the bench. Our only prop forward is Fotuaker there, but obviously Kafusi can cover. I just hope that Kafusi gets a bit more minutes because I think he only got like 8 or 15 minutes in Game 2. So I'm hopeful that we don't tire out like the likes of Cotter and Carrigan and utilize Kafusi because, look, I don't think we're going to play as bad as we did in Game 2. We gave away too many penalties, missed way too many tackles, and just like the game was over at halftime. We showed great fight, won the second half, but the game was done in the first. So.
Yeah, you make a good point there about the middle and what New South Wales did to us in the middle in the game too. So it's going to be interesting, mate. It's going to be really interesting.
Nano was really good as well on the weekend. And New South Wales, look, the only thing there, I think, were you happy with Bradman Best replacing Latrell there with that? With the injury, did you think maybe they could have gone Burton or?
Yeah, the way that Madge has done his team is that he's picked off form, and Bradman Best has probably been the form centre. I was surprised a little bit that they didn't have Sawali in the conversation after playing Game 1. He obviously saw something in Sawali Game 1 that he didn't see in Bradman Best. So.
I think also as well on Sawali is just that
he hasn't played any football.
He hasn't played it. Yeah, he hasn't played a game since Game 1. So, look, credit to Bradman Best. I think, like you said, Cord, he's one of the form centres in the comp at the moment. He did a job last year in Game 3. He was like the Blues' best player.
Yeah, he was.
Last year in Game 3. So, look, and then the only other one was obviously Humule Olakawatu getting dropped for Mitch Barnett. But, look, I think it speaks for itself. We're a fantasy podcast here as well as talking NRL. You all know how well Big Mitchy Barnett has been playing the last few weeks. He's just been exceptional, and I think he's just going to kill it in Origin as well.
Well, despite them not being selected, it's great for our fantasy team, and the buy hold
most
sell is going to
certainly.
be unbelievable this week because Fafita is in. Ola Kawatu looks a great buy. We still got Damien Cook, so it's there.
Stunning, Cord. Stunning for fantasy
We
coaches.
actually did ask on the Instagram based off the comedic sort of selections that Billy has done over the past 2 days. What are some funny stories that you've had or encounters with athletes? And I have been sent a few here from our DMs person, and they are, from what I've heard, quite funny. So we got the first one here, Dor. Let's have a listen because I'm sure we could add something to this.
Yeah, g'day boys. Got a bit of a funny one for you. A couple of years ago, was out in a nice little venue in Brisbane, in the city. Anyway, go up to the bar. There's a fella at the bar who looked kind of familiar to me. Looked like he was a couple of years above me at my school, who was a really, really good footy player. So I go up to the bar, ordered a beer, and naturally just got chatting to this bloke. Anyway, had about a yarn with him for about 10 or 15 minutes, just about everything, life, got onto rugby union, and then we started talking a bit more about league. Anyway, this bloke seemed to have known a fair bit about rugby league and
This is
was able to
dribbling
hold
already.
his own in this conversation. Anyway, about 10 minutes go by, and then I get to the point where I go, "Oh yeah, mate, what year did you graduate at school? Because I think you're a couple of years above me." Anyway, I named the school. He goes, "Nah, mate, I didn't go there." Anyway, I get a tap on the shoulder from behind me, and I turn around and it's Cody Nicarima, and I've recognised Cody straight away. I'm like, "Oh, Cody, how you going, mate?" Anyway, he goes, "Oh, mate, you mind just getting me a glass of water? It's just for my partner." So I go, "No worries, mate. I'm just at the bar." I get him the glass of water, hand it over to him. And then I turn to one of my mates who's sitting beside me and I go, "That's that bloke from a couple of years above us at school, eh?" He goes, "No, mate, that's Jarrell Yao-Yee." And I had to just go and apologise for him for chewing his ear off for about 15 minutes. So, yeah, that's a bit of a funny one for you.
The Yao-Yee, Dor. The Yao-Yee.
Jarrell. Yes.
Man, I have a feeling a lot of these stories that we're about to listen to, and I know we've got TLT coming up, but a lot of them are going to be when people are on the source and they've gone up to athletes. That's a funny one.
Yeah, you see, there's plenty of them around, Cord. Like I stumbled into Corey Oates down at the Sanford Patisserie once, and we just started having a bit of a yarn. Yeah, talked a bit of fishing and whatnot, and had a good yarn. He lives out my way, so yeah, no. Yeah, as you said, you could be anywhere and just run into some celebrities, mate.
Man, I got a great story, and I think I've told you it. I was doing some work for Queensland Cricket, and I was tasked to. There was a trend going around there. You ask athletes sort of stupid questions, and I was tasked to ask all the cricketers at the Queensland Cricket Awards these stupid questions, sort of just get a response. And I had asked Xavier Bartlett, who's the most overrated cricket player in the BBL, in the Big Bash, and why is it Marcus Stoinis? And he sort of laughed it off, and he eventually said, "Oh no, we love Stoiny," laughed it off, and then he kept coming up to me during the 90s, just like, you're gonna have to delete that, like delete it, like we'll redo it, just delete it.
Yeah.
And he came up to me again and again while I was doing these questions, and he's like, "Coop, you're gonna have to delete it." And I later found out that Marcus Stoinis had presented Xavier Bartlett with his Australian cap that summer. Which was quite funny at the time, but obviously he was a bit nervous, and obviously so. So I think everything's all right now, but that's a funny one. Here's another one.
So, probably late last year, me and my mate went to a festival in Kiama. While we were there, after the festival, we went over to a pub where we saw like the entire Sharks leadership group. So Nico was there, Dale Finucane was there, Cam McInnes, Hamlin Ueli, Will Kennedy, Jaden Brayley, all the big ones. And I was a bit on the sauce and a bit all over the place, and walked up to a bloke with a shaved head and just started calling him Connor Tracy. And he just kept laughing at me, and all the boys kept laughing at me, calling him Connor Tracy. So I was a bit off him. I was like, "Oh, like, oh, what, I can't use his first name because he thinks he's all famous and everything. Anyway, went about the night. Woke up the next morning. Woke up the next morning, had a look at the photos that we took, and I realised that he was laughing at me because it was actually Teague Wilton, and Connor Tracy doesn't play for the Sharks anymore. Cheerio.
Thanks for that. What was the gentleman's name?
That was Matt.
Yeah, and
Shout
who
out,
was
Matt.
who was the one that sent
The first one was LC.
Yeah,
so
LC.
shout out to you, LC.
Yeah, shout out Al and Matt.
They're funny stories. I mean,
yeah.
there's probably heaps of them out there, and a lot of them probably on the source. That
Yeah,
a
well,
lot
that's
of people
when
wanna
you
be
see
able
them.
to-
You know, they get the players go and celebrate after the games, or if they're on the bye week, you know, they head out on the town. So, yeah, no, thanks for sharing those stories. I'm sure there's plenty more.
There's plenty more of them.
Plenty more there. We'll make sure that we listen to them ourselves, but we obviously can't play them all on this podcast. So
Mate.
we appreciate Al and Matt for those stories.
TLT, mates.
Yes, let's get into it.
That was a good fun.
That was good.
TLT, Dolphins, Rabbitohs. There's only 5 games this week, and it's the last of the major bye rounds before round 20. A
The
reminder,
Origin players are back, and we don't have to worry
I know,
about
it's
this
great, isn't it, mate?
mess anymore.
a reminder, though, for all of us that are playing still, and I know a lot of people quit, but round 20, 8 trades, you get them all at once. So if you've got 0, you've got a lifeline coming in a couple of weeks' time, or a week's time, should I say. Trey Fuller, mate, he gets a run at 5/8. He gets his fullback.
Yeah, back and fullback, yeah.
But it's his 8th run of the year. You still
Yep.
got him, of course, because you got no trades.
Yes, that's it. I've got him in both fantasy and Supercoach.
Maxi Plath, if you've held him the whole time, he's playing hooker, which you said earlier. That is huge news for Plath. He's a tackling machine, PPM beast. So
He should still play maybe a bit more minutes. They've got Sean O'Sullivan there on the bench.
I'd say
so
60 plus points for Max Plath. And I'm willing to say that's going to happen. Let's move on, though. The Rabbits, Jai Gray, he's got a cheap fullback option there if you need a fullback or a wing fullback, mate. Latrell Mitchell's obviously out.
Yeah, Latrell, obviously at this stage, looking at only 4 weeks. Hadn't posted it yet. Sorry, busy day at work, but I will post that later. But I think it's 4 weeks at the moment. But look, specialists said they're gonna go for scans or something again in 2 weeks. That's got me thinking that potentially if the Rabbitohs potentially lose a couple of games, they might just go down the surgery route because their season will be over. It will be mathematically impossible to get into the 8.
Yep.
So they might just decide after a couple of weeks if they lose put Latrell under the knife.
Keon Koloama.
Oh, he has been special.
He's been unreal. He probably is the buy of the week this week for me. 756K, plays mid, and I know people are struggling for mids this round, especially for round 19. I'd say he is the buy of the week, and you can just hold him out for the rest of the season. He has a price tag of 756. It should be 900K the way he's going at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know about buy of the week, Cord, but he's definitely a great buy. If you don't have him, he's definitely one of the premier middles of fantasy. And look, Murray was playing last week and they put him on the edge, just the form of Keon at the moment. Definitely. He obviously had a bit of a break, didn't play 80 minutes last week.
Yeah.
But look, just stunning.
Damien Cook is probably the premium option at hooker this week. If you didn't get on last week, he'll play 80 for the rest of the season. No more buys for either.
49 break even for Cookie. So if you're keen, unleash hell.
I was
going to say just good old Liam LeBlanc, NCOB. Shout out Liam, getting another run.
Yeah, good on him.
So another run for Liam. Hope you go well on the weekend, mate.
Mate, he's a tackling merchant. He loves tackling and he's very good at it. He was putting kids on his back when he played a couple of weeks ago. So shout out to Liam. Well done, mates. For the Sharkies, they're playing the Tigers. Now, if you got on our tip to get on Nico Hines last week, it's extremely unfortunate. I can only imagine that he would have eaten again this weekend.
He didn't play very well last week and still
got 53. Got a cop-out
points.
try, to be fair. But, he's out for the rest of the season, or regular season probably. Could go into finals.
Yeah, I don't think he comes back. He's definitely, unfortunately, he's just the biggest sell this week.
Yeah.
If you were waiting a week and got him in next week, we apologise. Injuries are just like, he was basically, from what I've heard, he was just taking a high ball at training. I don't know if he landed on someone when he came down, but just took a high ball at training and, he's broken his leg and done his syndesmosis as well. So,
Tough.
and yeah, mate, especially, you'd think God would be looking after him after this, saving someone's life.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That was incredible, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like the good news stories that you want to hear.
And then obviously it's just ruined by the next day that he's taken away. But good on. I've always been a big fan of Nico. I know some people are a bit upset with how he's been playing and whatnot, but look, the guy's a great bloke. And look, that's something like I just feel really bad for him.
Yeah, when you put things in perspective, right? Nico Hines has been criticised, been absolutely brutalised in the media for how he's performed at Origin level, how he's performed
and
in clutch times.
You just think of the circumstances of both his Origin performances. He was put in centre in his first one, and then obviously this year that Suwali takes Walsh's head off and gets sent off, and they're playing,
12 men.
They're 12 men against 13, and of course he's going to struggle because they're playing 12 against 13.
Yep. I mean, incredible story, and it's one that needed to be highlighted. So well done to Nico. He's obviously out for 6 to 8 weeks now. Atco comes back in. If you held Atco for this whole time, special. If you got Cam McInnes, like we said last week as well, he got 56. So he's still quite undervalued at 716K. So he's a little bit of a buy there.
You go, 56 or whatever in like 50 odd minutes. So McInnes is still a great option. I think Jesse Collingoin, or however you pronounce it. I'm sorry, Jesse, if that's not how you pronounce it, but he's come onto the bench, I think, for his first game of the year, coming back from injury. So wish him all the best.
For the Tigers, Galvin, he seems to be a keeper for the rest of the season. If you want a half that's going to perform well, he's been doing very well at the halves. He's averaging 51 this season. He's probably a top 10 cash cow ever after starting at 200K or whatever it was.
Special Galvin.
Stefano, mate, I think he's good. Be a bit of an option with the round 19 sort of issue with the mids. He's averaging 33 in his past 2 games, but I know.
Yeah, it could go. He could go well. I'd prefer getting he only got 28 on the weekend. Got a break even at 67.
Okay, maybe not.
Yeah,
maybe not.
I'm thinking definitely. I think Bateman's a good option if you need an edge. But if you want a middle, like Samuel Afanu's still going very well for the Tigers. But I think, like you said, not buy of the week for me. But I definitely think he's middle buy. Like he's the buy of the week for the middles. Is Kolomatangi definitely if you don't have him. Porter as well.
Porter, that's good. That's good for him.
If you held Ruben Porter,
I'm not a Porter owner, but very happy to see him on the bench.
I just know a few people. I'm not a Porter owner either. Cord just wanted to address that because I think a few people brought him in and obviously didn't play the last week.
Yeah, so
it's good that he's back for those owners.
Titans, Eels, mate. Jaden Campbell returns, which is huge for us because we bought him. That's the buy of the
week for me.
He's your buy of the week. Wow. No AJ, so Brimson, so Campbell stays at the 6 role.
I think there could be a heap of changes in this Titans team come kickoff.
You reckon?
Yeah. Well, I'm saying you've got Philip Sammy named on the bench.
AJ, 18th man.
And you've got Firma, who's a second rower in the centres. And then you've got Brimson as 18th man. I think you could find... What I think will happen is I reckon that Brimson will, if he's fit, will go to centre. Firma will go back to the back row. Cleese Haas will go to either the bench or lock, and then Randall or Haas will go back onto the bench.
Yep.
Or the other option is Sammy comes in, and then maybe they keep Brimson on the bench. I don't know, but I just think there's going to be changes to that thing. But Campbell and Keeney should be fine.
Mate, Dave Feeder, probably captaincy option of the week. I mean, we said a couple of weeks ago that if he didn't get picked for Origin, I don't know what we were doing, but he'd be great for a captaincy option. So there you go. There's option number 1 right there.
I think he's probably definitely one of the best options this week. Ruben Garrick's probably another good shout this week. But we'll touch on him in a second.
Probably the most disappointing news of round 19 is that the Cardi party is probably closed down for business after he's been moved to the bench. This is outrageous, by the way.
I just think it's... I don't think this is going to be long term. I think it's just a 1 week thing. I think Cardi will still get good minutes from the bench.
I'm hoping for a late change, but this is why we don't pick up Eels players, ladies and gentlemen. It's just it's a rookie error from us because you know,
Oh well,
Matt
Matto's,
Dory and Charlie
Matto's still
Duma.
starting. That's what we like
Yeah,
to
yeah.
see.
If they were both benched, geez, I'd be swinging.
I think Cardi will be back. I think it's just I don't think Matt Dory will be
Playing many
keeping
minutes.
Cardi out. I think Cardi obviously had a shocking start to the game last week. A lot of errors, a lot of mistakes.
We had Jake Tungo debut last week. We've now got Lorenzo Militalo for the Eels on the other wing. We've also got Blaze Talagi, who continues to truck on quite nicely. He keeps scoring tries.
Keeps scoring, yeah.
It's unreal.
He's on a streak, Blaze. Absolutely killing it. Still making money as well. You're laughing. We got 8 trades. He keeps this up. We could be making some good cash. Cord. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 7 games in a row. He scored a try. So keep doing it, Blaze. As an owner. Myself and for the all-out team. I'm sure, Cord, do you have Blaze still? Or?
I don't. Oh, no, I still do.
You still do? Yeah. So just keep on trucking along, Blaze. We're loving it, mate.
Mate, the Broncos need to win so desperately.
Hold on. Before we go to the Broncos, I will say Mr. Charlie Geimer from Parramatta. If you need a cheapie,
Give us a cheapie, door. We need cheapies.
Yeah, he is the cheapie of the week. I thought he was exceptional last week. Got 29 points. Obviously, he's starting this week. I don't know, like I said, if he'll keep the starting lock. Sean Lane has been a bit disappointing. He missed 6 tackles last week, so if you get rid of that, he's probably nearly going at a point a minute. I actually really like him. If he can get some good minutes, if you need a cheapie or a cash out option that could give you a little bit more money, I think he's definitely got some upside.
Mate, that's a good shout because, there's a limited amount of cheapies at the moment and people keep asking for them and we don't know who to pick up because there's just hardly any.
He's definitely probably the best option. I think that with the injury to Junior Barlow on the weekend, and he's basically out for the rest of the season, I think Geimer will definitely feature in the 17 somewhere and should get like decent minutes.
Bronx Dragons. Now, Broncos, mate. I know you support them very hardly.
Oh, I had Semu didn't even make the 17. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
They need a win. They're currently in 11th. They're 2 wins, I think, outside the 8, considering they've had their bye rounds. Jordan Ricky returns from suspension. He's probably. Look, he's not a buy, but the man that I can't believe we've held on to this long is Brennan Piakura.
He got rid of him a long time ago.
He's just stinking it up. A 12 on the weekend for Piakura. Is it time to go, mate, or would you hold him this one more week, considering it is the buy round?
Nah, just if you need to get rid of him or you want to cash him out, I'd trade to Geimer or potentially. I don't know what this man's priced at. Let me just quickly check, but. I think with the injury to he's 410K, so he's not really cheapy. Geimer's definitely the best option, but if you want to go for someone else that could benefit, Josh Rogers could be someone to look at. Madden obviously bad hamstring injury, chasing the kick on the weekend.
Yeah.
I'd say that Rogers is going to hold the spot until Reynolds comes back, which I'm pretty sure is I think around like round 22 or 23. I think the Broncos have their last bye in round 24. So I think that Rogers could be someone definitely to look at. He obviously hasn't played since Madden. He had that one game that he did quite well in, actually. He got 38 points in 80 minutes. Obviously, 8 missed tackles there, which didn't help. No. But he could definitely be one to look at. Obviously, you're only going to have him for a month or whatever, but still a solid option.
And for the, who are they? They've got the Drags. Now, the Drags, Jaden Sewer is sitting right on the keeper sort of territory here. There is that injury concern for him. He's 593K, so he could offer something there if you need an edge back rower. Jacob Little's probably the second best hooker option if you need a hooker this week as well, Dor. He's been going quite well.
Yeah, Leilua's been not too bad as well, but obviously he's back to the bench. But yeah, look,
Lightning
I don't
Little.
think there's really any. Little's probably the best option fantasy-wise that I'd be looking at. DeBellin's been, look, he was great last week or the week before last, and then on the weekend I think he ran for 15 meters. Yeah. So he did make 30-odd tackles, but yeah, I think, as you said, Cord, only one I'm looking there fantasy-wise to get into my side would be Jacob Little.
Disaster for the Eagles, the Sea Eagles, with Cooler going down for 6 weeks, which means Tommy T is back at fullback. I probably wouldn't be buying him, Dor.
No,
I just don't know if I can take that risk.
He looked absolutely gassed on the weekend. I was surprised when I saw it come out just before that.
54 break even.
54 break even. Look, you could get him this week, but it's just like it's not really a must. If you want to wing fullback this week, I just think Jaden Campbell's the one. Like, he had an injury to his hand that's not going to stop him absolutely cooking with his legs. So yeah, I think Campbell's definitely the one to buy this week, but definitely just keep an eye on Turbo because he could be one to buy in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, Ruben Garrick, I sold him a couple of weeks ago when he got injured. He got 69 points on the weekend, 615K. I'd almost say that's a bargain for Ruben Garrick. Kicks goals as well.
Yeah,
So I think that's a good option.
52, he's a great option for sure. I think, he's definitely, in my opinion, one of those centers you want to have in the run home.
Yeah, I'm conscious of time here, so let's
you're right,
crack
mate.
on. Fletcher Sharp, he is
We
in.
touched on him,
We
yeah.
touched on him. Just saying,
Great hold,
If
great
Ponga
hold.
stays, if Ponga stays fit, obviously he's a great hold.
He's probably a sell next week because of Ponga, but look, it's good that he's starting fullback Ponga selected, so we get one good 80-minute performance out of Fletcher.
Craig Marzu, he keeps trucking along nicely.
That was one of our good ones.
Yeah, we said
week.
he was a good buy, and he scored another try on the weekend, so he keeps going on along quite
He's going to
nicely.
benefit with Ponga back, Cord.
Yeah,
That's
he
great.
will.
55 points on the weekend.
Ponga loves that left side, so Kai Pierce-Paul, he keeps his spot. He probably a hold for this week if you've got him in the edge back row.
I think a hold for now, Cord, but definitely I think he's probably borderline nearly sell very soon. I think a man that we touched on who is playing for the opposition is Big Ola Kawatu. I think he's definitely an option that you want to be looking at. Obviously, Nakora is a good option as well for an edge, but I just worry maybe he might get a bit without Nico. I think Nico and Nakora combine very well.
Yeah.
I'd be waiting maybe a week to see how he goes with Atco and Trindle.
Yeah, good shout, Dor. I mean, there's so many edge back rowers. I mean, and you can only fit 2 in that spot. So at the moment in my team, I got Fafita and Cartwright, so I don't actually need Olakawatu. So I could just wait a week for them.
We've got a plethora of bloody
we got
edges
too many.
in our side. Oh, it's all right. But I've done our team for this weekend without any trades. We've got 13 players, but the problem is one of them is we've got too many edges, so we're one middle short. So that's something that we can work on. But look, Cord, apart from that, with Newcastle, I think that that's really it. I think a lot of people actually got in Will Price, I think, last week, Cord. Let me see how he went. 49 points. He could be a buy this week. I'm not going to lie. He's really taken the role with playing with Hastings quite well. Back-to-back scores, averaging 47 points in his 2 games. Look, I think that could be an option. He's got dual, half and wing fullback, 45 and 49 points, Cord. Look, I'm thinking, if you can't afford Jaden Campbell, I think Mr. Will Price is the next man off the rack. But look, Jaden Brayley, if you still got him, you keep him this week, but he's got to go back to the bench.
Yeah.
Roslyn. I think that's it for
Yeah,
TLT,
we might leave there,
Cord.
man. I mean, a massive TLT podcast in what was quite a small week. We'll be back for Buy, Hold, Sell on Wednesday night. I believe that should be out.
It's good as well, though, Cord, to get the listeners involved. So
absolutely.
I think it was really good to obviously hear a couple of stories there. And we'll try and see if we can come up with something every week to try and get you guys more involved, because obviously you guys are the heart and soul of this operation. As I always say, we appreciate all the support, and we will continue to keep doing what we're doing and doing it at a great level. So,
Well said, Dor.
all right, we'll
see you
see you
then.
on Buy, Hold, Sell.